Thank you very much. You see, this film, Gaza has been an eye-opener to the world. Gaza has inspired the whole world. It's people, the resilience that you see in people's eyes. They lose their loved ones, they say, thank you, God. The level of belief and faith has made them stronger. And I think Israel is jealous from our resolve, from our steadfastness, because we refuse to vanish. And I think the whole world now see who is the victim and who is the victimizer. We don't like to play victims like the other side. We are resolved people, we have dignity. And we don't shed crocodile tears. And the whole world can judge what's the root cause of this suffering. It has been ongoing for the past 77 years. We were made refugees scattered around the world, and 77 years on, Palestinians still cling to their right to be a free nation, to be liberated from colonialism, from supremacy, from oppression, from injustice. And if Palestine is not liberated in our time age, our children will celebrate the liberation and the freedom of Palestine. It has been always called Palestine, and it will be always called Palestine. Peace is simple. I mean, it could be the conflict, the so-called conflict. It's not a conflict. You have a superpower country with the nuclear bombs attacking, defend the civilian population for 7 decades. But yet, the people in Gaza, with their resolve, they are staying. They are not going to go to the museum. So ending the conflict, I was asked today at the radio station, what's the solution? I think the solution is simple, that Israel has to realize that it will never be able to maintain its occupation. It's very simple, end the occupation. Give Palestinians the right to be a free nation. Give them their state. The whole world has been calling on Israel to abide by international law. They have violated numerous UN resolutions, and they are acting a pariah state above the international law. You've seen how they deny that they commit massacres, they deny they targeted children, they deny there is starvation, they lie to our faces. I think they look pathetic because they insult our intelligence. The whole world sees the horrific videos coming from Gaza, especially now with the imposed starvation where they tell people to go to the death trap. They tell people to go to receive the aid from the so-called American humanitarian organization, whatever, and they are shot dead like sitting ducks. They are sprayed with bullets. Around 600 Palestinians either killed or injured since this so-called American distribution facilities opened in Gaza. It's a way of dehumanization, a way of degrading Palestinians. It's like they are in a video game. They are, dropping aid from the air, or allowing little aid, a small number of trucks, and as people gather to get the aid, they are killed. It's like they're enjoying this. They deal with us as numbers. We are not collateral damage. If this genocide is happening in any other country around the world, it would have caused international uproar. If we were Ukrainians, the whole world would have intervened and supported our cause. But maybe because we are not Ukrainians, we are not white, and this ongoing injustice will haunt everybody who was able to put an end to the slaughter of civilians. What officials around the world, in the UK, in the Isle of Man, what they are going to tell their children in the future? Daddy, what did you do to stop the killing of children and civilians? They have to be prepared to answer that question. Because this is the most documented genocide live streamed in 4K resolution to our smartphones. The whole world is watching us being slaughtered and butchered for the past 650 days. That's almost 2 years of bloodshed, of suffering, of targeting children, destroying hospitals, universities, schools, bakeries, cemeteries. There is no red line whatsoever. They have destroyed entire neighborhoods. It's a systematic way of uprooting Palestinians to drive them out of the land because Palestinians are adamant to stay. I think Israel also has a problem with the demographic growth. We have 2.5 million people live in Gaza, and Israel, as an occupying power, does not want to take responsibility to look after the needs and welfare of the population that it occupies. That's why, but ironically, they claim that they lift Gaza, they don't control Gaza, they don't occupy Gaza. But everybody sees what they are doing. They restrict the amount of aid, they cut the electricity, they cut the water, they cut the internet now, there's media blackout. Now people are not reporting what's happening in Gaza. So I called my family and they said horrific massacres are being committed. But because there is no internet for the past 3-4 days, we are not getting the videos here. The whole world now is busy with the strike in Iran. So back to the question. If you ask Palestinians, I'm a neutral person, I'm not taking sides. And I report the truth. We don't incite against anybody. And we don't call for the extermination of anybody. We are the victim. Israel should be the most merciful country on earth, the Jewish people, because they have suffered the Holocaust. We were not responsible for the Holocaust, yet we are paying a heavy price. They must learn from history. They must not allow other nations to suffer. Whereas never again. It's happening again. So many Jewish around the world, they support our just cause, and we salute our Jewish brothers and sisters. This is not a religious war. And those Jewish people who support our just cause, as everybody knows, I'm not sure if there are Jewish people here, they are often described as self-hating Jews, just because they show solidarity with Palestinians, just because they say no to the occupation, no to the injustice, no to the killing. And the US administration has never been an honest peace broker. But it's very simple, ending the occupation with one phone call from Trump to Netanyahu, he will end the genocide right now. But there is no intention on part of Trump to end the genocide or to end the occupation. Israel is a colonialist project, and we are suffering from neo-colonialism. It's the new slavery era. So, again, there will never be peace or stability in the region, in the Middle East, or in the world, without a just solution to the Palestinian suffering. We are staying 77 years, and they know that they will not be able to sustain their occupation. So why they don't just accept to be part of the region and end the occupation and treat Palestinians in a nice way, without discrimination, with equal rights? So free Palestine from the river to the sea. It's not a call to exterminate the Jewish people. It's a call to treat everybody with equal rights. Because they tried to outlaw flying the Palestinian flag in the UK. That former Home Office minister, they call it hate marches. What? Jewish people taking part in these demonstrations and they're calling them hate marches? They conflict the facts. They don't like to see you showing solidarity with us. They are annoyed to see growing support for our just cause. So again, we are hopeful. We wish if this bloodshed will end. It's not Palestinians who have the key. The Israelis have got the key. It's simple. They must recognize our right to exist because this is our land. Now I know the story, the claim God's chosen people, a land promised to them by God, and we are not part of the region. Two-state solution is dead. So how about one-state solution, one secular democratic state solution for everybody to live in peace and harmony in coexistence, regardless of race, religion, color, ethnicity, political orientation? They said no. So we don't know what's the solution. The solution, again, there is unoccupied people. They aspire for self-determination. They need to be free. Palestinians will never accept to be ruled by invaders. It's simple as that. Peace can be attained, but there must be international will, international practical steps on the ground to stop the impunity. Because we live in the rule of the jungle. The international law has been sabotaged. And I think we live in a very dangerous era now. So there is a responsibility on part of the governments around the world, including your government here, to make it clear that it's not acceptable under international law to keep occupying people, denying their rights to be free, to starve them to death, and so on. So we would like to see this peace. But is it really going to happen? I doubt it, because there is no international will. That's why. Yes, absolutely. Before I answer, can I ask you please to remain seated, because shortly we're going to take a video selfie together, as I do after every screening. So, to answer the question, it's crystal clear that Netanyahu is avoiding going to prison, because the moment the genocide ends, he will be taken to prison for corruption scandals. So he is prolonging the genocide. He turned away many deals on the table, even during Biden era. They claim that this genocide, and don't be afraid to call it a genocide, because it's a genocide. It's even worse than genocide. It's extermination. It's even much worse than genocide. So the stated goals of Netanyahu is to bring the hostages back, to bring an end to Hamas rule. What else? Let's just stick to those two. But it has been proven that he doesn't care about releasing his hostages in Gaza. And why we are being collectively punished? Why 2.5 million people are being punished? Because Israel has got a problem with Hamas. Hamas, by the way, is the result of the occupation. Had no occupation there, Hamas would have never been existed. So the ultimate goal is to ethnically cleanse the population in Gaza, because Israel is worried from the demographic growth. They say, you Palestinians, you have too many babies. And they don't want the spirit of resistance to remain in people's collective consciousness. And by the way, resistance is an idea. Even if Israel managed to uproot Hamas, you will have new movements. But the thing is, it's an interesting question, because I've been asked in the media, what do you think of Hamas? Would it be acceptable if the Palestinian resistance was atheist, or a Christian resistance, or Jewish resistance? Because they always try to associate Islamic with Hamas, as if it's a religious war. One man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. So, to conclude that question, Netanyahu is not interested in a solution. He wants to prove to the Israeli society that he is the king of Israel, that he's a tough guy. And now he's attacking Iran, violating the sovereignty of countries, putting their noses in different countries' affairs. But now there are no guarantees that if the captives released, Israel would stop its aggression in Gaza. This is the main thing. It's not about the captives anymore. And Israel has killed many of its hostages. So there is a real intention, and by the way, they knew about that attack on the 7th of October. They did not defend themselves on that day. They let it happen in order to justify what they are doing in Gaza. So yes, he is trying to remain in power. He's using the Palestinian blood as a fuel for his political goals. I just arrived yesterday, but I would be thrilled to meet any member of parliament. I just met a gentleman here. I'm not sure if he's a politician. Is he? Yeah, the guy. Who is he? Yeah. So I would like to visit the parliament. I would like to sit down with officials. As a journalist, I'm neutral. I don't represent any political party in Palestine. I'm not associated to Hamas. I'm just a person who, make films and share the truth, a journalist. But I'll be happy to share my recommendations. I'll be happy to talk to anybody because I consider myself as an ambassador from Palestine to the world. Thank you. Yeah, please make your questions shorter, please. Yeah, so thank you very much. I know I need to clarify many things. So let's start from the last question. So the Arab world is not intervening because they have no power. They cannot dictate their recommendations, or if they dare to criticize Israel or America, they will be told off. So they say it's not our war, why should we bother? And Hamas is being a headache for us. They don't want to sabotage the normalization ties. And they don't want to be associated by supporting Hamas, as if speaking against the genocide is going, this will put them in an awkward situation. We know the region, the Middle East region, is in bad shape. Defragmentations because of the interventions from the West, especially the United States, that doesn't want to see Arab countries support Palestine. It's a very complicated situation. Now, for the 7th of October, nothing justifies a genocide. Nothing justifies starvation. Nothing justifies a genocidal war extermination for almost 2 years. We're not here to say who's right and who's wrong, but it's about humanity. If you don't consider your human being a human being because you think they are lesser of a human being, and you treat them as such, they are numbers, they are subhumans, they are cockroaches, these are snakes, and if you are brainwashed, indoctrinated, then you don't care about, slaughtering these innocent people, because in their eyes, we are nothing. And the suffering of Palestinians started in 1948, 77 years. Israel has carried out 5-6 onslaughts, offensives, 2008, 2012, 2014, 2021, 22, and then this current genocide. And also in the West Bank, the situation is also dire. 2023, for the 7th of October, was considered the deadliest year for Palestinian children. Palestinian civilians being arrested, the settlers, they have a free hand in the West Bank to terrorize Palestinians. Annexation of land. They just announced the approval of constructing or building a number of settlements in defiance of international law. Jerusalemites, Palestinians in Jerusalem, they have their identity cards revoked. So the suffering is ongoing way before 7th of October. But the Western media wants to convince you that it's all started in the 7th of October. Those people are not justifying what happened, but to explain to you what happened. Those people who carried out that attack, they don't represent the whole population. They did not consult the Palestinian people. It was miscalculated, but yet Israel justifies its attacks, its revenge, that you Palestinians, Gazans, you elected Hamas. Is this because they elected Hamas 2006, this is how you treat them? It's because you celebrated what happened. A few people shared a number of videos and as if the whole population celebrated what happened. There is no innocent people in Gaza, no innocent children in Gaza, because those children, they will grow up and they will become resistance fighters. So they can justify anything. And I think this will backfire. What Israel is doing in Gaza, as you may agree, it will increase the so-called anti-Semitism. Jewish people will not feel safe because, if you are identified as a Jew, you would be threatened, you would fear for your life because Israel is tarnishing the image of the Jewish people. And as I said, we have nothing against the Jewish people. So again, that attack does not justify what's happening. It was one day, bad stuff happened, but Israel has repeated that day 650 days so far in Gaza. And this justification, this inhumane practices, this demonization of Palestinians has to stop. I think the official level across the world, they show lip service. They are not serious really about pressuring Israel to end its inhumane treatment of Palestinians. Recently, they started to issue some statements imposing sanctions of Ben Gvir and Smotrich, those fanatic, crazy officials, freezing, suspending a number of fuel weapons shipments licenses out of 30 something. But what's needed is actually real practical on the steps to punish Israel, because if a spoiled child out of control and you say, oh, please calm down, and the thing is, Israel, as everybody knows, they act with impunity. You know, they attack Palestinians for 77 years, they justify their attacks here and there, because they want to use Gaza as a scapegoat. They have transformed Gaza into a testing ground. They have been testing their weapons on us for 77 years. And also they have transformed Gaza into a Hunger Game site. It's like they are in a video game, Israeli soldiers attacking Palestinians, and the whole world is watching. But we understand there is so much solidarity support from the people like yourself. But the hypocritical stance, the double standard policy of the governments around the world is actually very shameful. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. Of course, Palestine is not a charity issue. Palestinians are forced to beg for food now. They are forced to escape for safety. I tried to bring my family to the UK since I'm British citizen, similar to what the UK granted the Ukrainians to come to the UK, but our demand was rejected because, you know why. So what you can do is continue pressuring your officials in the Isle of Man to do something to prove, because you elected them, and they must, respond to you. They must show you that they have requested the Israeli government to stop the genocide first, to end the siege, and to end the occupation, and to show that you have a weight, you have, a responsibility to do something. Raising awareness, you can boycott products that Israel has made, but what annoys them the most is the cultural boycott, the academic boycott, the sport boycott. They panic when they hear voices to ban them from participating in the Eurovision competition, such activities. So they must feel the pressure, and this is a peaceful protest. You are not calling for violence. This is your right to protest, because they need to feel the pressure. You can arrange a regular Palestinian Cultural Day, show films, Dabka folklore. What else? I'm not sure if you have Israeli ambassador here. He or she, they must be told off. They must feel that you are not happy with them. And if you have Israeli visitors, they must behave, because they go to Thailand, they take a break from the genocide, they mistreat the public. So, as I said, this is your right to protest. You can do lots of things, but mainly politicians. They must represent you. They must do something. Maybe you can ask for injured Palestinian children to be admitted here, to be treated at hospitals. So you need to make the Isle of Man popular worldwide. You need to prove that you have made something. You need to send a delegation from the Isle of Man carrying your flag to Gaza to help. We need doctors, we need sergeants, we need volunteers. You can send aid trucks. But what you can do now is instant help. I have shared 2 barcodes. You can send money, donations. I know this is very sensitive. You need to trust an organization. You can choose to whatever charity you can. But I have, with my team on the ground, we have 2 kitchens. We provide meals if we find the ingredients, because nowadays there's scarcity. But since the start of the genocide, we have been cooking meals, soup, drinking water and so on. So you're most welcome to donate. You have the barcode on the poster there. I have another link for donations, and we have the buckets here. So we send this donation to people back there affected on the ground. Thank you. Thank you. I think it's important to support Palestinian journalists on the ground. They share unfiltered, unedited, raw footage coming from the ground. So it's important to share our updates. Although our accounts are shadow banned, censored, the other side, baby killers, they share the videos online and their accounts untouched. I think Al Jazeera, English, TRT World, they are my favorite channels.
Because you appear on it.
I appear, they invited me, they invite me often, but I appear on Sky News. Sky News, by the way, has improved their credibility, their transparency. They're much better than the BBC. I appeared in the BBC numerous times, Sky News several times, Al Jazeera, TRT, in addition to other media outlets. I think because of the internet, social media, traditional media corporation, they no longer maintain monopoly of the narrative. So they are forced to report what's going on. Channel 4 News is good, really good. ITV News sometimes. So you can choose your favorite media outlets, but because so much happening on the ground, and by the way, I urge all journalists in the Isle of Man, all journalists worldwide, to ask for the right to be present on the ground, because Israel has not allowed any international journalist into Gaza. Because the thing is, they keep down the statistics coming from Gaza, the number of casualties, the attack on the paramedics, this what happened. So why they don't just allow international journalists into Gaza so that the world can report credible and trusted figures? So I think they have softened their coverage. Their coverage has improved, especially Sky News. I'm not like marketing them, but I'm saying things has improved a lot compared to previous years because they are losing. Because people now they turn to social media, and they want to build their their following. They want to show that they are credible. Sometimes CNN they do really great reporting. So yeah, there are many sources available that you can follow, but follow me, follow my Instagram. Perfect, thank you so much. I would like to add something. I would urge you guys maybe to organize an international conference. You can make a difference. Invite Palestinian speakers from abroad. Pressure the media here to talk about Palestine more. Because there is a need to raise awareness and to spread the truth. I say quality, not quantity. So you can make a huge difference. I would like to see your flag in Gaza. And I would like to see, more noise, making more noise in the streets. I know you hold vigil each Friday. Yeah. Make officials, make noise. Make the UK government know that you have a major role to play. Don't lose hope, because the other side, they try to underestimate your effort. They try to intimidate people by accusing you, not me, because I'm Arab, I'm a Semite. They accuse you of being anti-Semite. Because this is the terminology they use. They wouldn't dare to accuse me of being anti-Semitic because I'm a Semite myself. Yeah, so they try to use this term against non-Arabs, non-Palestinians. So I'll leave it to you guys decide. Mitfel is really doing a great job. Amnesty International, they can also, they issue statements. I follow their websites. Every move counts. Do not underestimate even one step, small step. Being present here today, you will be able now to go home and influence other people around you, at work, in social media, share the stuff. There is so much awareness. And believe me, you will be proud in some years' time when Palestine is liberated, because you will say you contributed to the freedom of the Palestinian people. So you must be proud of what you are doing. Thank you.
I think that's a good note to end it on. I can see hands going up, but you can ask questions individually. I should mention that on Sunday,